How to find the right luxury realtor in DFW. One bad realtor choice can quietly shut you out of some of the best luxury homes in DFW. Not because the homes aren't there, but because you will never get access to them in the first place. Luxury real estate in Dallas-Fort Worth doesn't always operate in the same way that the traditional market does. A lot of the best homes never even gain full traction online. They move through relationships and private networks, through conversations happening before the listing even goes public. In fact, many luxury markets across the country, a significant percentage of high-end homes are sold through private networks, office exclusives, or pre-marketing exposure before the public even sees them. In this video, I want to walk you through how to identify the right luxury realtor here in Dallas and the questions that you should ask them before you choose one. The first thing that buyers usually look for is experience. But not all experience is equal. The difference between an agent who occasionally sells a high-end property and one who is consistently in that market operate very differently. They are two different skill sets. Luxury transactions tend to be more complex. You're dealing with higher expectations, larger financial exposure, and often more sophisticated negotiations. You'll also see agents in the luxury space who hold designations like Certified Luxury Home Marketing Specialist, or what about a luxury home certification? Those are offered through the Institute of Luxury Home Marketing, CRS, a Certified Residential Specialist, and then the coveted guild recognition. That indicates that that agent has experience in multi-million-dollar transactions. These designations don't guarantee results, but they do indicate that an agent is often actively operating in the tier of luxury. One of the best questions you can ask is simple. How often are you working in this price range? Now, not have you done it before, but how often are you doing it? Because consistency changes how an agent thinks, negotiates, and prepares. Agents who regularly operate in the luxury tier understand things like pricing, psychology, seller expectation, how buyers at this level actually make decisions. The second piece is access. This is where most buyers underestimate what really matters. At the luxury level, access is not automatic, it is built. A strong luxury agent should be able to answer this clearly. How do you find homes that are not publicly listed? And the answer should not be vague. It should be things like agent network, private listing groups, relationships with top tier agents, pre-marketing opportunities, builder relationships in those luxury communities. The third piece is negotiations. At the luxury level, negotiations isn't just about price. It's about positioning yourself to win. How is your offer structured? How is it presented to the listing agent? How confident does the seller feel about this particular buyer? And is that conveyed? I've been in situations where the highest offer is not always the winning offer, but because buyers made the transaction easier, cleaner, and more certain. At higher price points, sellers often prioritize certainty, reputation, and professionalism just as much as they do the number itself. And that's the difference. Hiring a well-qualified realtor who has a great reputation, not only in the industry, but also in the luxury arena, is imperative. Working with a realtor who has experience on the other side is often a streamlined process that listing agents look for. So keep that in mind when you're choosing a realtor. So a better question to ask your agent is this: how do buyers win in a competitive situation at this level, and how do you help them? Strategy definitely matters far more than simply offering more money. The fourth piece is local knowledge. Does your realtor have the local knowledge? And this is where DFW can also trip a buyer up. DFW isn't just one market, it is tons of micro markets. What matters in Dallas proper is not the same of what matters in Frisco. And what works in Plano might be different than what works in Prosper. What a buyer expects in Southlake is going to be different than what a buyer is going to expect in McKinney. Same price point, same range, but completely different lifestyles, schools, community alignment, and long-term appreciation patterns. So the real question becomes, how do you help buyers choose the right area for them, not just the right house? Because the wrong area decision is one that you will stay focused on long after closing occurs. And the last piece is communication. Communication helps control the process. Luxury transactions move fast, but they also require precision. You don't want to be chasing updates. You want to know what's happening before you have to ask. You want clarity on timelines, on next steps, on what to expect. prospects. So one of the simplest questions that you can ask an agent is this: what does your process look like from start to finish? A strong agent will be able to walk you through the specifics and the details and not be vague about it. I recently had a buyer who almost chose an agent based on personality alone. And listen, it really matters. They liked this agent, they felt comfortable, but when they started looking at how the transaction was actually going to be handled, there were gaps. And at the luxury level, small gaps can often become expensive ones. So the buyers who end up in the best homes in DFW are rarely the ones who rush the agent decision. They asked better questions. They understood how the process actually works, and they chose someone who could help guide them through it. Because in the luxury market, your agent isn't just opening doors for you. They're shaping the properties that you have access to and how strong you're going to position yourself. And that is what really matters most. What do you think matters most in DFW luxury real estate? Connections or negotiation skills? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop some in the comments. And if you're trying to figure out which areas in DFW fit your luxury needs and your lifestyle, this is where I can help you narrow it down. Brittany Stewart, your favorite realtor.